The landing bay of the Intergalactic War Academy was alive with sound and motion. Ships from dozens of planets arrived simultaneously, each carrying the galaxy's brightest young warriors. The air smelled faintly of fuel and ozone, and the metallic walls reflected the glowing panels that guided ships to their assigned docks. Humans were few in number among the sea of alien cadets, and many of the other species glanced at them with curiosity or amusement. Toma stepped off the transport shuttle and stretched, adjusting the straps of his simple uniform. Unlike the other cadets, he carried no heavy armor or elaborate gadgets. His eyes were sharp, scanning the surroundings, noting the positions of instructors, the movement of other cadets, and the general atmosphere of the academy. Even though he was small in comparison to many of the other species, there was a quiet confidence about him that made some aliens look twice. "Look at them," muttered a tall, blue-skinned cadet to his companion. "Do you think humans can even survive the first test?" His companion shrugged, her many eyes blinking rapidly. "They are small. They will fail. That is the way of things. Only the strongest survive here." Toma heard nothing of it. His mind was already working, cataloging, analyzing. Every species had patterns, habits, and predictable reactions. That was the first secret to survival. He adjusted the straps on his pack and moved toward the central hall where the opening briefing would take place. The Academy's hall was massive, a dome that stretched high into the sky. Holographic displays floated in midair, showing previous simulations, victories, defeats, and strategic maneuvers. A hum of excitement ran through the crowd as instructors prepared for the opening address. The humans stuck together, forming a small cluster at the back. Toma's team was made up of 4 cadets in total, each carefully chosen for their abilities. They were strong, clever, fast, adaptable. An alien instructor floated down from a platform above, his translucent wings fluttering in the artificial gravity. His voice resonated through the hall, deep and commanding. "Welcome to the Intergalactic War Academy," he said. "Here you will learn strategy, discipline, and the art of war. You will face simulations that test every skill you have. Only those who excel may rise to the highest ranks. Today, you begin a journey designed to challenge you beyond your limits." Toma listened quietly, but his mind was elsewhere. Rules and challenges were meaningless if you did not understand the patterns behind them. He watched as alien cadets began to whisper among themselves, trying to anticipate the simulation and plan their moves. Most relied on the Academy's training manuals and the strategies passed down by their ancestors. "The first exercise is a 10-year war simulation," the instructor continued. "It will span multiple star systems. You will command fleets, armies, and outposts. Your decisions will have consequences. Survival is the ultimate test." Gasps and murmurs ran through the crowd. 10 years was an unimaginable length of time for most cadets. Many had trained for years to reach this moment, and the pressure was already weighing heavily on them. Humans, however, remained calm. Toma turned to his team, his eyes meeting theirs. "We do not need 10 years, he said quietly. "We will see how fast we can adapt." The other humans nodded. There was no arrogance in their faces, only focus. Around them, alien cadets continued to speculate, some whispering that humans were foolishly overconfident. The simulation chamber was enormous, a massive room that could shift to resemble countless worlds. Holographic star systems, planets, and fleets appeared as cadets entered. Each participant received a command console, complete with access to troops, ships, and resources. The aliens quickly began inputting strategies they had learned from their textbooks. Toma and his team took a different approach. They simply observed, letting the other species reveal their plans. Every fleet, every formation, every defensive tactic told a story. Every species had strengths, but every species also had weaknesses. Humans had learned to survive in environments far harsher than most planets in the galaxy. They had learned to improvise, to adapt, to exploit the unexpected. "Notice their priorities," Toma said. Pointing at a group of insectoid cadets preparing their fleet, "They focus on defense first. They assume attack comes later. That is predictable. We can use that." His team followed silently, absorbing the information. A human cadet named Mira scanned the energy fields surrounding a nearby fleet. Shields are strong, but their coordination is slow. If we create confusion, we can bypass them without a direct fight. A simulation began, and the hall filled with the sounds of battle, fleet engines roaring, laser beams cutting through space, and the occasional alarm from a command console. Alien cadets followed their pre-planned strategies, confident in their ancestral tactics. The humans, however, moved differently. They adapted instantly, responding to each challenge with speed and creativity within minutes. The humans had bypassed defenses that were meant to last weeks. They used environmental hazards like asteroid belts and gravitational fields to their advantage. Toma directed his team with short, precise commands. Split the forces. Use the debris for cover. Draw them into the trap. The other species watched in disbelief as human ships appeared where no one had expected. Alien cadets shouted orders, trying to correct their formations, but the humans were already several steps ahead. Impossible, muttered a winged cadet whose fleet had been routed. They should not be here yet. They should be slower. Toma did not pause. Every decision was deliberate, every movement calculated but flexible. Humans were not bound by tradition or pride. They could take risks the aliens would never consider. The insects, the winged species, the amphibians all struggled to respond. By the end of the first hour, humans had gained control of several key star systems. Fleets that were designed to defend entire sectors had been neutralized. It's not by brute force, but by clever tactics and improvisation. The alien cadets stared at their consoles in shock. How could a species so young and so few achieve this so quickly? Toma looked at his team, their faces calm but determined. We are just getting started, he said. The other humans nodded. They knew the simulation was vast, and the real test would come as they pushed further into the galaxy. Facing stronger fleets and more complex defenses, in the observation deck above, instructors whispered among themselves. They're small, one said, but the way they adapt. It is not natural. They break the rules without breaking them, replied another. This is unlike anything we have seen. Toma ignored the whispers. His focus was on the next move, the next opportunity. He had learned long ago that fear and intimidation were weaknesses. Confidence, creativity, and speed were strengths. In this simulation, those strengths gave humans an edge that no alien had anticipated. Hours passed, and the humans continued to move through the simulation, not rushing, but never slowing. Their strategy was simple: observe, adapt, and act decisively. By watching others and learning quickly, they could exploit weaknesses before the aliens even realized they existed. As the first day of the simulation ended, Toma's team gathered in a quiet corner of the chamber. They had secured multiple star systems, captured resources, and disrupted enemy formations designed to last for years. Other cadets were exhausted, bewildered, and in some cases, humiliated. We did more in one day than most do in a year, Myra said, a small smile on her face. Toma nodded. The lesson is simple. Speed and adaptability matter more than numbers and tradition. We keep this in mind, and the simulation will be ours. Around them, alien cadets whispered and stared. Some were impressed. Some were angry. Some refused to believe what they had seen. Toma paid no attention. Humans did not fight for recognition. They fought to survive and to succeed. By the time the simulation lights dimmed for the first night cycle, humans had already started planning for the challenges ahead. They knew that the greatest tests were still to come, and that the galaxy's most complex scenarios would require every ounce of skill, intelligence, and courage they had. The Academy would remember this day. The aliens would remember this day. But Toma and his team did not think about reputation. They thought about preparation, adaptation, and the next step. In the galaxy's most difficult war simulation, humans had already taken the first decisive victory, and this was only the beginning. The human cadets stepped into the main simulation chamber, their eyes adjusting to the massive display of stars, planets, and fleets that stretched across the room. Holographic projections painted the walls, ceilings, and floors with 1,000 worlds, filled with armies, ships, and defenses. Alien cadets hurried to their stations, their appendages and limbs moving quickly as they input commands. Calibrated shields and positioned fleets. Toma stood at the edge of their platform, quietly observing the activity. Unlike the other species, humans did not rush without reason. They watched, calculated, and waited for the right moment. His team of 4, each human trained in different aspects of warfare, gathered around the control panel. Myra's fingers danced across the interface, checking resources and scanning enemy positions. The smallest human, Reno, adjusted the targeting arrays while keeping an eye on alien movements. The final member, Hannah, coordinated energy reserves and fleet communications. The simulation began with the flash of a star system coming under attack. Alien fleets moved swiftly to engage, relying on conventional strategies they had used for centuries. The humans, however, paused. They did not rush into battle like the others. "Watch the openings," Toma said. Their first moves reveal their patterns. A fleet of winged aliens launched an aggressive attack on a nearby planet. They assumed humans would follow the textbook response, but Toma anticipated their approach. He split the human fleet into 3 smaller units, sending 2 to create a diversion and 1 to move through an unmonitored path. Within moments, the diversion fleets drew the enemy away from the critical energy hubs on the planet. The 3rd fleet struck, disabling defenses without facing direct fire. Alien cadets on nearby platforms stared in disbelief. They moved through the blind zones, one hissed. "How did they even find them?" Mira smiled faintly. "We observe. We adapt. They expect us to react, but we predict." The human cadets moved with precision, turning the simulation into a test of observation and adaptation rather than brute strength. They exploited natural hazards, using asteroid fields, radiation storms, and gravity wells as weapons. A fleet attempting to blockade a human-held planet found itself caught in a shifting asteroid field. With ships colliding or diverted into the void, adjust shields to compensate, Hannah instructed. But let the debris do the work for us. Reno laughed quietly as alien ships struggled to maintain formation. They never learn until it is too late. The alien instructors began to murmur among themselves. This behavior was unprecedented. Humans did not follow the standard progression of training. They improvised, they adapted, and they learned faster than any algorithm the instructors had programmed. As the first system fell under human control, the other cadets scrambled to respond. They began coordinating with fleets across other star systems, trying to anticipate human tactics. Toma watched calm and focused. He knew the aliens' moves were predictable once the humans had identified their thought patterns. "Pay attention," he said to his team. "They will overcomplicate their strategies. We simplify ours." The humans focused on efficiency. While the aliens sent large fleets to attack, humans used smaller, more agile units, striking at weak points and retreating before counterattacks could land. Every human ship was both offensive and defensive, capable of shifting roles instantly. They exploited communication delays among alien fleets, confusing their enemies with misdirection and feints. Minutes passed, and the human cadets had already captured multiple planets, securing energy reserves, resources, and strategic positions. Alien cadets were panicking, trying to regroup, but each new human move forced them into reactionary positions. Toma directed his team calmly, issuing commands with clarity and precision. "Divide the enemy fleet," he said. "Use the outer rim for cover. Target the command ship last." The plan unfolded flawlessly. Alien fleets collided in confusion, misdirected by human maneuvers that no species had ever attempted. By targeting the command ship last, humans caused maximum disruption, forcing the alien forces to retreat and reorganize. A winged cadet slammed his claws against the console in frustration. How do they do this? They are supposed to be weak, yet every move outmatches us. They are not weak, his companion admitted reluctantly. They see what we cannot. They do not follow the rules. Toma's team continued to advance through the simulation. Every planet, every fleet, every outpost was carefully assessed before any action. Human strategy relied not on overwhelming force, but on intelligence, speed, and flexibility. Where the aliens depended on history and tradition, humans relied on observation and adaptability. Myra noticed a cluster of enemy ships hiding near a gas giant. They think we cannot see them. They are wrong. We use the planet's gravity to pull them into our firing range. Reno laughed softly. Every species underestimates humans. That is always their first mistake. The attack began. Human ships used gravitational slingshots around the gas giant, accelerating to incredible speeds and striking the hidden fleet before it could react. Alien ships were destroyed or scattered, leaving the planet open for capture. Within the hour, humans had gained control of several star systems. Far beyond what the instructors had expected in this initial phase, alien cadets were shouting across the platforms, trying to reorganize. Their traditional strategies failed repeatedly against the humans' unconventional approaches. Winged fleets collided with amphibious armies, while insectoid formations found themselves divided and weakened. The humans adapted to each new threat immediately, exploiting weaknesses and creating opportunities faster than the aliens could. "Respond," Toma observed the unfolding chaos calmly. He did not feel joy in defeating opponents. He felt focus. Each victory was a lesson, each challenge an opportunity to refine their tactics further. The simulation was not about destruction. It was about learning, adapting, and mastering the environment. Hannah adjusted the energy flow to the main fleet. "If we push forward now, we can cut off their reinforcements and secure the central systems." Toma nodded. "Do it, but maintain a flexible reserve. We cannot be trapped ourselves." The human strategy worked perfectly. Alien fleets attempting to reinforce the central systems were intercepted and neutralized. Planets that were supposed to resist human advances fell quickly, often without a single human casualty. The alien cadets stared at their consoles, unable to comprehend what was happening. One insectoid cadet turned to his companion. "They move too quickly. They do not hesitate. They see everything we try to hide. They're like predators from a death world," his companion replied. "We cannot outthink them using our old rules." Toma's team advanced steadily, securing key positions across multiple star systems. Each move was deliberate, calculated, and adaptive. Humans did not follow the expected path of the simulation. Instead, they created new paths, new tactics, and new methods of engagement. The instructors observed silently, their expressions unreadable but filled with astonishment. Minutes turned into an hour, and the humans had already achieved what was meant to take months. Entire fleets had been neutralized, key planets secured, and alien cadets were left scrambling. Panic, frustration, and disbelief ran across the observation platforms. No species had ever accomplished such feats in so little time. Toma stood on the platform calm and composed. "We learn quickly. We adapt faster. We move decisively. That is why we survive," he said softly to his team. Mira, Reno, and Hannah nodded. They understood the truth behind the words. Even as the simulation continued, other species began to change their approach. Some attempted unconventional tactics themselves, copying human improvisation. But it was too late. Humans had already established dominance in key areas, forcing alien fleets into defensive positions. Every attempt to counter the humans failed, because humans did not fight like the others. The hour ended, and the first stage of the simulation concluded. Humans had captured more territory and neutralized more fleets than anyone had predicted. Alien cadets were exhausted, bewildered, and in many cases shaken. They had faced the might of a small human team and discovered that size, tradition, and history were not enough to guarantee victory. In the observation deck, instructors exchanged glances. "They are not following the rules, yet they excel beyond expectation," one said. "They do not just excel," another replied. "They redefine the possibilities. The galaxy has underestimated humans for centuries. That will change." Toma and his team gathered briefly, reviewing their actions and planning for the next stage. The humans were calm, focused, and determined. They had learned much in the first hour and knew that the simulation would grow more challenging with time. "We did well," Toma said, "but the real test is yet to come. We will face stronger fleets, more complex defenses, and faster reactions. We adapt, and we survive. That is all that matters. The humans left the chamber, their expressions calm. Around them, alien cadets whispered in awe and fear. Some were inspired. Some were angry. Some refused to believe what they had seen. But all knew one truth: humans were not like the other species, and they could no longer be dismissed. The simulation had only begun. But already humans had proven something the galaxy would not forget. Speed, intelligence, and adaptability were their weapons, and no one could predict where their advantage would lead next. The simulation room hummed with energy as the second stage began. Holographic stars and planets rotated slowly, while fleets of alien ships moved in intricate formations. For most cadets, this stage was expected to take weeks. For the humans, it was simply another challenge to overcome. Toma stood at their command console, scanning the projected systems. "Observe first," he instructed. "We do not act until we understand the hidden patterns." Mira nodded, her fingers hovering over the controls. "They are predictable in their unpredictability," she said. "Every species tries to appear random, but there is always a pattern." Reno smiled. "We are going to find it." Hannah activated the sensors, mapping enemy fleets and planetary defenses. "There are more hidden reinforcements this time," she said. "Some fleets are cloaked. Some planets have advanced energy shields. We need a plan." Toma leaned back slightly, thinking, "We do not need to destroy everything. We need to create disruption. Confuse them. Force mistakes." The other cadets had already moved. Alien fleets launched attacks on nearby systems, following the strategies ingrained from centuries of training. Winged species relied on speed and aerial maneuvers. Insectoids used swarm tactics. Amphibians coordinated large armies to overwhelm planetary defenses. Each species believed in its own methods, confident that experience and tradition would secure success. The humans acted differently. They did not rush. Instead, they positioned themselves in ways that forced the aliens into errors. They used minor distractions to pull enemy fleets away from key systems, created phantom targets to mislead sensors, and exploited gravitational anomalies to accelerate their ships beyond expected speeds. "Divide the fleet," Toma said. 2 units create diversions. 1 moves to the hidden supply lines. The rest remain unseen, ready to strike. Mira executed the orders. Within minutes, alien fleets found themselves chasing illusions, leaving critical positions vulnerable. Reno guided a small human squad through a dense asteroid field, unseen by enemy sensors. From their hidden position, they disabled communications on a nearby planet, cutting off the alien forces from coordinating effectively. "Now," Toma said, "we hit them where they are weakest." Now the humans struck in precise, coordinated bursts. Alien fleets were caught in traps of their own making, misled by the humans' clever maneuvers. Swarms collided unexpectedly, ships ran into each other, and planets once thought secure fell in rapid succession. From the observation deck, instructors whispered among themselves. "They are exploiting the simulation's mechanics," one said. "They are using the rules against themselves." "They are not just fighting," another replied. "They are redesigning the battle as they go." Toma's team moved seamlessly. Humans were small, but they compensated with speed and ingenuity. While aliens depended on overwhelming numbers, humans relied on precision and adaptability. When an enemy fleet attempted to flank them, Toma anticipated the move, redirecting his forces to block the advance while sending another unit to strike at the rear. Hannah monitored energy levels, ensuring the human ships had the reserves needed to sustain rapid maneuvers. "They think we will run out of power," she said. "We have reserves they cannot see." Renault laughed quietly. "They will learn quickly, or they will be left behind." The simulation had layers of hidden challenges. Some planets contained defenses that could destroy entire fleets. Some star systems had volatile gravitational fields that could trap ships for weeks. Other cadets struggled to navigate these hazards, relying on manuals and past experience. Humans, however, adapted instantly. They used environmental hazards as weapons, turning dangerous zones into strategic advantages. a fleet of winged aliens attempted to retreat through a nebula, thinking it would hide them. Tama's team anticipated the move, positioning human ships to intercept. The nebula's magnetic storms were used to disable the alien fleet's sensors, leaving them exposed. Within minutes, the human squad captured the fleet with minimal effort. "Every species underestimates us," Mira said, her voice calm. "That is always their first mistake." Alien cadets were shouting across their consoles, trying to reorganize their fleets. Commands were sent too late, as humans had already disrupted supply lines, disabled shields, and taken control of strategic planets. Panic and frustration spread among the non-human cadets, Toma observed silently. This stage of the simulation was designed to challenge the cadets' ability to manage multiple systems simultaneously. Most species struggled because they focused on tradition and hierarchy. Humans excelled because they focused on observation, adaptability, and decision-making. "Notice their reaction times," Toma said. "Every delay is an opportunity. Exploit it." The humans moved again. They split their forces into smaller units, each capable of independent action. These units acted simultaneously, striking enemy fleets, disabling planetary defenses, and securing key resources. Alien cadets attempted to anticipate the moves, but every prediction failed. Humans acted in ways no one expected, turning the galaxy's conventional strategies upside down. In one sector, an amphibious species had deployed a massive fleet to blockade a resource-rich planet. Humans did not attack directly. Instead, they used smaller squads to disable communications and navigation systems. The amphibious fleet became disoriented, moving in circles and colliding with each other. By the time they realized the humans' true position, it was too late. Human ships had already captured the planet and secured its resources. "Every obstacle is an opportunity," Thomas said to his team. "We turn weakness into strength." Alien cadets began to notice a pattern. Humans did not rely on brute force. They did not blindly follow orders. They adapted instantly, anticipated reactions, and exploited weaknesses. Some aliens tried to imitate the humans' tactics, but imitation alone was not enough. Humans were creative, unpredictable, and fast. "Do you see it?" Mira asked. "They think in lines and patterns. We think in possibilities." Reno grinned. "They cannot keep up. They never could." As the hour progressed, humans had captured more planets and neutralized more enemy fleets than the aliens had expected in the entire first stage. The instructors watched in astonishment, realizing that humans were not just excelling, they were rewriting the simulation itself. One alien instructor floated forward, wings trembling. "They cannot be contained," he muttered. "No species has ever adapted this quickly." Tama's team did not pause. They pushed forward, targeting supply lines, command centers, and strategic planets. Each move was calculated to maximize disruption while minimizing risk. They avoided unnecessary confrontations, preferring intelligence and speed over direct combat. By the end of the hour, human cadets had gained control of key sectors across multiple star systems. Alien fleets were scattered, and critical resources were under human control. Other cadets stared in disbelief. They had trained for years, relying on strategies honed over centuries. Yet a small team of humans had outmaneuvered them in ways no one had thought possible. Toma looked at his team, calm and focused. "We have achieved more than they expected," he said. "But the real test is coming. We will face even greater challenges, and we must remain adaptable." Hannah checked the energy levels and reported, "All systems are stable. We are ready for the next stage." Mira scanned the enemy positions. "They are regrouping, but it will not help. We control the flow now." Reno laughed softly. "It is like watching predators stumble into our trap. They do not even know it is a trap." The alien instructors exchanged worried glances. "We designed this simulation for months of preparation," one said. "They completed more than expected in an hour. We cannot predict their next moves." Toma did not worry about the instructors. He worried about the simulation itself and how his team could continue to adapt. Every stage would become more complex, with hidden hazards, faster fleets, and more advanced defenses. But humans thrived in unpredictability. They did not need to follow a plan. They needed to observe, adapt, and act decisively. As the second stage ended, humans had secured the foundations for dominance in the simulation. Their speed, intelligence, and adaptability had already set them apart from every other cadet. Alien species were left to reconsider their assumptions. Humans were no longer the species to underestimate. Toma and his team gathered briefly, reviewing their performance. "We have learned a lot," Toma said. "Every stage teaches us something new. We adapt faster than anyone else. That is our strength. That is why we survive." Around them, alien cadets whispered, argued, and panicked. Some tried to copy human tactics. Some refused to believe what they had seen. All realized that humans were different, more clever, more adaptable, and more unpredictable than any species had anticipated. The humans left the simulation chamber, calm and ready for the challenges ahead. The galaxy's most advanced cadets had been tested and found wanting. The humans had proven that intelligence, speed, and adaptability could overcome tradition, numbers, and experience, and the simulation was far from over. The third stage of the simulation began with a flash of light that filled the chamber. Stars shifted, planets rotated, and fleets from countless species appeared across multiple star systems. The complexity of the simulation increased sharply. Hidden hazards, advanced defenses, and unpredictable enemy tactics were layered into every system. Most cadets felt overwhelmed, their senses bombarded with new information. Humans, however, remained calm. Thomas stood at the command console, his eyes scanning the systems. "Observe the new elements first," he instructed. "Do not act until we understand the hidden rules." Mira adjusted the scanners to focus on cloaked fleets. "They are trying to hide faster units in the nebulae," she said. "If we rush, we will lose control. We need patience." Reno checked the trajectory of a nearby asteroid belt. "It can be used to accelerate our units. They will not expect it." Hannah monitored energy reserves and shield levels. "All systems are stable. We can handle rapid maneuvers without risk." Toma nodded. "Then we proceed. But carefully, we cannot waste time, yet we cannot make mistakes." Alien cadets immediately launched attacks, sending fleets toward key planets and resources. They expected to overwhelm the humans by sheer force. Winged species relied on speed and aerial assaults. Insectoids used swarm attacks with massive numbers. Amphibians coordinated large armies to strike in multiple directions simultaneously. Each species assumed that experience, tradition, and numbers would secure victory. Humans moved differently. They did not engage directly at first. Instead, they positioned fleets in ways that forced alien forces into mistakes. They used environmental hazards strategically, turning asteroid fields, radiation storms, and gravitational anomalies into weapons. Toma divided his forces into multiple small units, each capable of independent action while remaining connected through precise coordination. 2 units create diversions, Toma said. 1 targets supply lines. The rest remain unseen, ready to strike when the moment comes. Mira executed the plan with skill. Diversion units drew enemy fleets away from critical systems. The Hidden Strike team disabled communications and shields on key planets, creating chaos without direct confrontation. Reno guided a small squad through a dangerous asteroid belt to reach the enemy's command ship undetected. "They will not see us coming," he said, his voice calm. "They rely on rules we do not follow." Hannah smiled. "Every move is calculated. Every risk is controlled." The alien cadets watched in disbelief. Their fleets collided, communication lines failed, and key planets fell in rapid succession. Winged fleets crashed into each other in confusion. Insectoid swarms scattered, unable to maintain coordination. Amphibians struggled to regroup as humans exploited every weakness. From the observation deck, instructors whispered, "They are not just succeeding. They are bending the simulation to their will," one said. "They are creating opportunities that should not exist," another replied. They are rewriting the rules. Tama's team continued to advance. Humans did not rely on brute force. They did not blindly follow plans. They adapted instantly, anticipated reactions, and exploited weaknesses. Every attack was calculated. Every defense was prepared. Where aliens relied on tradition, humans relied on intelligence, speed, and adaptability. Mira noticed a cloaked fleet near a gas giant. They think we cannot detect them. They are wrong, she said. We use gravity to pull them into range. The attack began. Human ships used the gas giant's gravitational pull to accelerate and strike before the enemy could react. Cloaked ships were exposed and destroyed. Alien fleets scattered, leaving planets unprotected. Every species underestimates humans, Mira said. That is their first mistake. Alien cadets shouted across consoles, attempting to reorganize their fleets. Commands were sent too late. Humans had already disrupted supply lines, disabled shields, and secured key planets. Panic spread across platforms as cadets realized the human speed and ingenuity were unmatched. Toma observed silently. He did not celebrate victories. He analyzed, adapted, and prepared for the next challenge. Each move taught the team more about the simulation and its hidden rules. Notice the reaction times, he said. Every delay is an opportunity. Exploit it. Humans struck again. They divided fleets into smaller units, each capable of acting independently. These units moved simultaneously, striking enemy forces, capturing strategic planets, and disabling defenses. Alien cadets attempted to anticipate human actions, but every prediction failed. Humans moved unpredictably, using creativity and speed to gain the upper hand. In one sector, an amphibious fleet attempted to blockade a resource-rich planet. Humans did not attack directly. Instead, they used small squads to disable navigation and communication systems. The fleet became disoriented, moving in circles and colliding with itself. By the time the aliens realized the humans' position, the planet was already under human control. Every obstacle is an opportunity, Toma said. We turn weakness into strength. Alien cadets began to notice a pattern. Humans did not rely on numbers alone. They did not blindly follow orders. They adapted instantly, anticipated reactions, and exploited weaknesses. Some aliens tried to copy human tactics, but imitation was insufficient. Humans were inventive, unpredictable, and fast. Do you see it? Myra asked. They think in lines and patterns. We think in possibilities. Reno grinned. They cannot keep up. They never could. As the stage progressed, humans captured more planets and neutralized enemy fleets than expected. Alien cadets were exhausted and confused. Their strategies, honed over centuries, could not match human adaptability. The instructors exchanged glances, alarmed. We designed this simulation for months of preparation, one said. They completed more than expected in hours. They cannot be contained. Tama's team continued to move. They pushed forward, targeting supply lines, command centers, and strategic planets. Every decision maximized disruption, while minimizing risk. They avoided unnecessary battles, preferring intelligence, speed, and precision. By the end of the stage, human cadets had established control over critical sectors across multiple star systems. Alien fleets were scattered, and resources were firmly under human control. Other cadets stared at their consoles, unable to comprehend what had happened. Toma turned to his team. We achieved more than expected, he said. The real test comes next. The simulation will become harder. We must remain adaptable. Hannah checked energy levels. All systems ready. We are prepared for rapid maneuvers. Myra scanned enemy positions. They are regrouping, but it will not matter. We control the pace now, Reno smiled. It is like watching predators stumble into a trap they cannot see. Alien instructors exchanged worried glances. The humans are not just winning, one said. They are creating outcomes we cannot predict. Toma did not worry about instructors. He focused on his team and the simulation. Every stage grew more complex. Hidden hazards, Faster fleets and advanced defenses would test them further. But humans thrived in unpredictability. They did not follow plans blindly. They observed, adapted, and acted decisively. As the fourth stage approached, humans had secured the foundations for complete dominance in the simulation. Speed, intelligence, and adaptability had set them apart from every other cadet. Alien species now realized humans were no longer the species to underestimate. Toma gathered his team for a final review. "We have learned much," he said. "Every challenge teaches us something new. Adaptability is our strength. Intelligence is our weapon. And speed is our advantage. We survive because we change faster than anyone else." Round them, alien cadets whispered in awe, disbelief, and fear. Some tried to copy human tactics. Some refused to accept reality. All realized one thing: humans were different. And no one could predict what they would do next. The humans left the simulation chamber calm and ready. Their success in this stage would be remembered by every cadet, alien and human alike. They had proven that intelligence, creativity, and adaptability could overcome tradition numbers and centuries of experience. The galaxy's most advanced cadets had been tested and found wanting. The humans had redefined what was possible. The final stage of the simulation began with a ripple of light that swept across the chamber. Stars shimmered, fleets appeared, and planets rotated in precise orbits. The simulation was designed to challenge the cadets' mastery of strategy, adaptability, and endurance. This stage was meant to test the limits of the participants over what should have been months of coordinated effort. Toma and his team stepped to their consoles, calm and focused. "This is the ultimate test," he said. "Observe first, act second. We win by thinking, not by force alone." Mira adjusted the scanners to analyze enemy formations. "They are stronger this stage," she said. "Faster fleets, more complex defenses. They have learned some human tactics already." Reno grinned. "They think they can predict us. Let them try." Hannah monitored energy reserves and fleet status. "We are ready for any maneuver." Every system is functioning. Across the chamber, alien cadets launched their fleets with determination. Winged species darted through space with precision. Insectoid swarms moved as one, coordinated and relentless. Amphibians deployed massive armies across multiple planets. Each species hoped to overwhelm the humans with superior numbers and experience. Humans acted differently. They did not panic or rush. They observed the flow of battle, noticed the smallest details, and adapted instantly. Toma divided the fleet into multiple units, each capable of independent action, while remaining in perfect coordination. "Create diversions at the outer edges," Toma said. "Push them to reveal their patterns. Reserve the main strike for the heart of their formation." Mira executed the command flawlessly. Diversion units moved through asteroid fields, engaging enemy fleets and drawing attention away from human main forces. Reno guided a squad through a nebula, avoiding sensors and launching stealth attacks. Hannah synchronized energy flows to maintain maximum efficiency for every ship. The alien fleets faltered. Winged species collided with each other in confusion. Insectoid swarms scattered, unable to regroup. Amphibians struggled to maintain control over their divided forces. Every human move forced alien cadets into mistakes. Amplifying the effects of their own errors, Toma observed silently, issuing commands only when necessary. Humans did not act recklessly. Each decision was calculated, precise, and adaptable. They used the simulation environment as a weapon. Gravity wells, asteroid belts, and radiation storms became tools to manipulate enemy movements and maximize disruption. "Target supply lines," Toma said. "Force them to overextend. Then strike decisively." The humans struck with precision. Supply fleets were intercepted and neutralized before they could reach their destinations. Key planets lost defensive shields. Communications failed across multiple sectors. Alien cadets scrambled to respond. But the humans were always one step ahead. From the observation deck, instructors whispered in astonishment. "No cadets have ever completed this stage in under months," one said. Yet humans are controlling it in minutes. They are not following the rules, another replied. They are redefining the simulation itself. Thomas' team continued to move. Small squads struck simultaneously in multiple systems, disabling defenses, capturing planets, and neutralizing enemy fleets. Humans anticipated reactions before they occurred, exploiting every opening. Alien cadets tried to counter, but every response was predicted and nullified. Mira noticed a fleet hidden near a volatile star. They think the star's radiation shields them, she said. We can use it to accelerate our strike. They will not expect it. Renault plotted a course through the radiation, guiding ships with perfect timing. The enemy fleet was exposed and destroyed in minutes. Planets that were meant to resist humans fell effortlessly. Speed and intelligence win over numbers every time. Toma said quietly. Alien cadets were panicking. They had expected to win by force, coordination, and centuries of tradition. Humans had none of these advantages, yet they dominated. The simulation that should have lasted 10 years was being dismantled in under an hour. Hannah monitored fleet energy levels. We can sustain another push. No systems are compromised. Toma nodded. Then we continue. Keep pressure on multiple fronts. Force errors. Exploit weaknesses. Human units advance through multiple star systems, their movements precise and fluid. Diversion fleets created chaos. Main forces struck decisively, and hidden squads disrupted critical defenses. Every action reinforced the others, creating a chain reaction of failures among alien cadets. In one sector, a winged fleet attempted to regroup and defend a key planet. Humans did not attack directly. Instead, they manipulated nearby asteroid fields, forcing the fleet into collisions and misdirection. The planet was captured without a single human ship lost. Every obstacle is an opportunity, Toma reminded his team. Turn their strength against them. The alien cadets tried to adapt, but it was too late. Every conventional tactic was already countered. The humans' unconventional strategies, rapid adaptation, and use of environmental factors left the aliens overwhelmed. Mira launched. Final strike against the Central Command fleet. This is it. If we succeed here, the simulation ends. Reno guided the squad with skill, navigating through hazards and avoiding enemy fire. Hannah maintained shields and energy flow. Toma coordinated all units, ensuring the timing was perfect. The strike was flawless. The Central Command fleet was neutralized. Alien cadets stared in disbelief as their systems collapsed one by one. Planets were captured, supply lines cut, and fleets scattered. The simulation that had been expected to last 10 years was finished in under an hour. From the observation deck, instructors were silent. Their calculations, predictions, and contingency plans had failed. No species had ever accomplished this. Humans had not only survived, they had dominated, using intelligence, speed, and adaptability as weapons. Toma looked at his team calmly. We have completed the simulation, he said. We learned, we adapted, and we succeeded. That is all that matters. Mira, Reno, and Hannah nodded. There was no celebration, only quiet satisfaction. They had done what others believed impossible. Alien cadets were stunned. Some were angry, some humbled, and some could not believe their eyes. The humans had shown that adaptability, intelligence, creativity could overcome tradition, numbers, and centuries of experience. One alien instructor finally spoke. They have done what no species has done before. They have completed the 10-year simulation in less than an hour. They are extraordinary. Toma did not respond. Humans did not seek praise. They acted to survive, to succeed, and to excel. The results spoke for themselves. As the simulation ended, humans were quietly debriefed. Instructors acknowledged their unprecedented performance. Alien cadets looked at them with new respect. A lesson had been learned across the galaxy. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their ingenuity, speed, and adaptability made them a force unlike any other. The chamber emptied, but the impression remained. Humans had rewritten expectations. The galaxy would remember this day. Deathworlder cadets had proven that intelligence, observation, and creativity could achieve what brute force, numbers, and tradition could not. Toma and his team left the simulation chamber, calm and ready for whatever came next. They had shown that humans could succeed where others failed. The galaxy's most advanced cadets had been tested and surpassed. Humans had won, not through size or strength, but through adaptability, foresight, and courage. The story of their victory would spread across star systems. Other species would speak of the humans who finished the impossible. They would remember the speed, the cleverness, and the unpredictability of Deathworlder cadets.